Right. So, you know how much we all love diving into gaming and all the awesome stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
But sometimes our bank accounts don't quite agree with our gaming aspirations.
Yeah, that can be a problem.
So that's exactly what we're tackling today.
Okay.
We're cracking open Henry Cavillion's book, Game More, Spend Less.
Okay.
And we're hoping to walk away with some seriously actionable advice.
All right, sounds good.
Because let's face it, we all want to experience the best that gaming has to offer.
Oh, yeah?
But not all of us have, unlimited funds to make that happen.
Right, definitely.
You know what's really cool about Cavillion's approach, though?
What that?
He doesn't just, jump into, oh, okay, here's how to find a cheap graphics card.
Right.
He kind of starts by addressing the psychology of it all.
Yeah.
That, fear of missing out that can really creep in.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. When you see, all the shiny new releases and everyone else is rocking, the latest ear.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I found so fascinating about this book is that he really gets that, he understands that feeling of
Yeah.
oh, man, I want that, but I just can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not just about the hardware. It's
Yeah.
all the games that are coming out.
Right.
And you're just like, well, there goes my paycheck.
Yeah, totally. Scrolling through those Steam sales and you're just like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, this looks amazing.
I need it.
But
Can I afford it?
exactly. And I think we've all been there.
Right.
It's like you see your friend's amazing super-powered rig and you're just like, ooh.
I'm happy for them,
Right.
but also
Yeah.
a little bit jealous.
Totally.
But what I'm getting from this, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Sure.
Cavillon seems to be saying there's a whole different way to approach this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what he calls his smart spending philosophy.
Okay.
So it's not about just settling for less.
Right.
It's about being really savvy with your decisions
Okay.
and maximizing your enjoyment.
Yeah. Within your means.
Okay, so working within what you've got
Exactly.
and not necessarily feeling like you have to keep up with the Joneses or whatever.
Exactly. And it's about understanding where you can be strategic,
Okay.
and save
Yeah.
without sacrificing
Yeah.
the core elements that make gaming so awesome for you.
Okay. I'm already intrigued. So where does he suggest we begin? Does he jump right into building a PC from scratch or what?
He actually kind of tackles multiple angles.
Okay.
But one of the first things he really dives into is this whole world of DIY PC building and upgrading.
Okay, I was going to ask about that because I've always been curious about that.
Yeah.
But it can seem kind of intimidating, especially if you're not super techie.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But does he make it seem approachable?
He really does. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about his writing style
Okay.
is that he breaks it down in a way that even if you're not a hardcore techie,
Right.
you can still follow along and be like, okay, I think I could actually do this.
Okay, so it's not reading a technical manual.
No.
It's actually
more conversational.
yeah, a friend explaining it to you.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So, but is it really possible to build a PC on a budget
Mm-hmm.
and still end up with something that can handle modern games? Because some of those components can get really pricey.
That's where his knowledge really shines.
Okay.
He walks you through choosing CPU's errands and RAM that deliver solid performance,
Right.
but without breaking the bank.
Okay.
And one of his key strategies is this idea of targeting older generation parts.
Okay, I was going to ask about that because
Yeah.
tech moves so fast.
Oh my gosh, so fast.
Last year's model is ancient history practically.
exactly.
So are you saying that last year's high-end whatever could be better
It could potentially, yeah.
than this year's budget model?
Right, and cost significantly less.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so it's about being strategic and knowing what to look for.
Hold on, so you're telling me I can potentially get near top-tier performance
Potentially, yeah.
from a year or two ago
Mm-hmm.
at a fraction of the price?
Exactly.
Okay, my mind is a little blown right now.
It's a game changer.
It is.
And it's not just about GPUs.
Okay.
CPUs also depreciate in price
Right.
as newer generations come out.
So it's anything, really.
Pretty much any tech.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what's the approach here?
Well, he encourages people to do their research,
Okay.
compare benchmarks,
Right.
and understand what compromises you're actually comfortable making.
Okay, so what corners can you cut without totally ruining the experience?
Right, because maybe you don't need the absolute bleeding edge CPU
Right.
if you're mainly playing games that aren't super demanding.
Right, if you're not doing the super high-end AAA stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's about being realistic about your needs.
I feel like I always get caught up in the hype
Oh, yeah.
of the newest thing.
Newest and greatest.
Yeah, without really thinking about if I actually need that level of performance.
It's easy to get swept up in all of that.
It is.
Especially with all the marketing and the hype.
So, okay, let's say I'm ready to dip my toes into this DIY world.
Okay.
Does Kavaline provide any guidance on, like, where to actually find these components?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't even know where to start looking for, like, a used GPU. Yeah, that's a good question.
Right.
He talks about reputable online marketplaces.
Okay.
Forums where you can find, like, used or refurbished parts.
Oh, okay.
At a fraction of the cost of buying new.
Okay.
Of course, he stresses doing your due diligence.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, like checking seller ratings, looking for warranties.
Okay.
Making sure the parts are compatible.
Right.
With, like, your existing system.
Right.
Or the other components you're planning to buy.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's not just like a free-for-all.
Right, you can't just, like, grab anything.
No.
It has to actually work together.
Exactly.
This is already sounding way more fun than just clicking add to cart.
I know, right?
On, like, the latest pre-built system.
It's more of an adventure.
It's like a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
But with PC parts.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's say I've got, like, my core components sorted.
All right.
What about all the other stuff? Like peripherals and the monitors, all that.
Yeah, Kavaline reminds us not to underestimate the impact of peripherals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he dedicates a whole section to finding budget-friendly mice, keyboards, headsets.
Okay.
That don't skimp on quality.
Okay.
He even argues that a comfortable mouse can be the difference between victory and a painful case of carpal tunnel syndrome.
Okay. He might be exaggerating a little bit there.
Maybe slightly.
But
the point is, don't neglect those essential tools.
Yeah. Okay. It's got me there.
Yeah.
I've been using the same old mouse for years, and I've definitely noticed some hand fatigue.
Oh, yeah.
Lately.
Yeah.
So
it might be time for an upgrade.
It might be time. Does he recommend any specific brands or models?
He does mention a few.
Okay.
That are known for their affordability and quality.
Okay.
But I think more importantly, he emphasizes finding one that fits your hand comfortably.
Okay. Ergonomics.
Yeah, and has the features you need.
Right.
For the types of games you play.
Okay.
He even recommends visiting a local electronics store.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And actually trying out different mice.
Yeah.
Before you buy.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, it's worth the time.
Yeah, because you don't want to just buy it online.
Right.
And then be stuck with something that's uncomfortable.
Exactly.
I imagine the same logic applies to keyboards and headsets too, right?
Absolutely.
You don't want to just grab the cheapest option without considering, like,
comfort, functionality.
Yes, all of that.
All of that.
Okay, so we've covered the core system, the peripherals.
Yeah.
What about the games themselves?
Right, the games.
How do we build up a library?
Good question.
Of awesome games without emptying our bank accounts?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Because games can get expensive.
They can.
Especially those brand new AAA titles.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's hyped about.
All the hype.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Kavaline has some strategies for that.
Oh, he does.
Okay.
He dives deep into this world of game sales and bundles.
Okay.
Highlighting platforms like Steam, GOG, Humble Bundle, Green Man Gaming Fanatical.
Okay, so I'm familiar with Steam.
Yeah.
But some of those others are new to me.
Yeah.
What's so special about them?
Well, GOG is short for Good Old Games.
Okay.
And they're known for their DRM-free games.
Okay.
Which means you don't need to be online to play them.
Oh, that's a good point.
And they have a great selection of classic PC games.
Okay, cool.
Humble Bundle is famous for its pay-what-you-want bundles.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Where you can choose how much you want to pay.
Oh, that's cool.
For a collection of games.
Wow.
And a portion of the proceeds often goes to charity.
Oh, that's awesome.
And platforms like Green Man Gaming and Fanatical.
Okay.
They regularly offer deep discounts on new and popular games.
So it's like this whole ecosystem of budget-friendly gaming options out there.
Exactly.
Wow. I've always kind of stuck with Steam just because it's what I know.
Yeah.
But now I'm intrigued by these other platforms.
There's a whole world out there.
There is. Hold on a sec, though.
Yeah.
Does Kavaline just, like, advocate for buying cheap games?
That's a great question.
Because I've definitely fallen into that trap of, like, buying a game just because it's on sale.
Right.
Even if I'm not really that interested in it.
Yeah, and he addresses that head on.
Okay, good.
He cautions against buying games just because they're cheap.
Right.
He emphasizes being strategic.
Okay.
And building a library of games that you'll actually play.
Yeah.
and enjoy.
That you're actually going to get some use out of.
Exactly.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, so be strategic with your purchases.
Yes.
But even with sales and bundles, buying games can still add up over time.
Yeah.
Does Cavaline have any other tricks up his sleeve for those of us who are really trying to stretch our budget?
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
He dedicates a whole chapter to exploring the world of free-to-play games.
Wait, free-to-play?
Free-to-play.
I've always associated that with, like,
Yeah.
not the highest quality experiences, shall we say.
Right.
We're talking like mobile games here, or...
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Cavaline makes a really compelling case that free-to-play has evolved, like, significantly.
Okay.
He showcases games like Apex Legends, Genshin Impact Warframe,
Okay.
titles that are not just time fillers,
Okay.
but like full-fledged experiences
Right.
with huge communities and ongoing updates.
Okay, I'll admit my curiosity is piqued. I've heard of Apex Legends.
Yeah.
It's a battle royale game, right?
It is?
But I always just assumed it was a paid title.
That's a common assumption.
Okay.
But Apex Legends is a shining example
Yeah.
of how free-to-play can be done right.
Okay.
You get access to the core gameplay experience without spending a dime.
Okay.
And while there are optional in-game purchases,
Right.
they're primarily cosmetic or for unlocking characters.
Okay.
They don't give players a pay-to-win advantage.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's a fair system.
I've definitely been wary of free-to-play games that feel designed to, like, nickel and dime you
Oh, yeah.
at every turn.
The ones that are like, pay us money and you'll be better.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just want to enjoy the game, you know?
Right.
Not feel like I have to constantly be shelling out cash.
Exactly.
So what about these other games you mentioned?
Yeah.
Genshin Impact and Warframe.
Yeah, those names don't ring a bell.
They don't. Those are new to me.
So Genshin Impact is an open-world action RPG
Okay.
with a stunning visual style,
Okay.
often compared to Breath of the Wild,
Oh, wow. Okay.
but with a free-to-play model.
Okay.
Warframe is a sci-fi action game, known for its fast-paced combat and deep customization options.
So both of these are free to play.
Both free-to-play,
Wow. Okay.
and both offer hundreds of hours of gameplay
Wow.
without requiring you to spend any money.
That's pretty incredible when you think about it.
It is. It's kind of mind-blowing
It is.
how much content you can get for free these days.
So how do they make money
Right.
if they're giving the whole game away?
I'm guessing microtransactions come into play here.
Yeah, right. Like, there has to be some way.
Of course, most free-to-play games do have some form of microtransactions,
Okay.
but Cavaline provides some solid advice
Okay, good.
on navigating them wisely.
Okay, I like that.
So he encourages setting a budget beforehand,
That's a good idea.
prioritizing in-game rewards that enhance your enjoyment,
Okay.
and be mindful of whether a purchase is truly adding value
Right.
to your experience.
So not just like an impulse buy.
Exactly.
That's a really helpful framework. I've definitely been guilty of impulse spending.
Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
In free-to-play games,
It's so easy to do.
it is, especially when you're like having fun and you see a tempting offer pop up.
Right.
But I like the idea of setting a budget
Yeah.
and being more intentional.
Being intentional with your spending.
Yeah, even in a free-to-play game.
Exactly. It's all about being an informed consumer,
Okay.
even in the world of free-to-play.
Yeah.
And he also emphasizes that some games are much more generous
Okay.
with their free content than others.
Okay, that's a good point.
Some games let you experience a significant chunk of the game
Yeah.
without ever feeling pressured to spend.
Okay, so we've talked about building a PC on a budget, finding deals on games,
Yeah.
exploring this free-to-play world.
A whole new world.
It is there anything else that Cavaline suggests
Yeah.
to help us stretch our gaming dollars even further?
So this is where he really emphasizes the importance of optimization.
Okay.
He dedicates a whole chapter
Uh-huh.
to optimizing graphic settings for lower-end PCs.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask about that. Yeah,
Because that can be tricky.
it can.
You know, I mean, I know my computer isn't a powerhouse,
Right.
but I hate when games look like pixelated or choppy.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
So is it really possible to get a smooth,
Yeah.
enjoyable experience
Mm-hmm.
on a budget PC?
It is. And that's what he walks you through.
Okay.
He talks about adjusting resolution, texture quality, anti-aliasing,
Uh-huh.
all those different settings
Yeah.
to squeeze every last frame out of your system
Okay.
without sacrificing too much visual fidelity.
So it's more than just like tweaking like random settings.
It's about understanding what those settings actually do.
Yeah.
And he does a great job of like demystifying the jargon
Okay.
and explaining how each setting affects performance.
Okay. So it's not magic.
No, it's not magic.
It's just knowing, like...
Knowing what levers to pull.
Yeah, what to tweak.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
He even provides, like, recommended settings for
Okay.
different types of games
Okay.
and hardware configurations.
Oh, that's awesome. So it's like having a personal tech guru
It is.
guiding you through the process.
That sounds incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like me who's not super tech savvy.
Right.
It's empowering to know that I can potentially improve my experience just by understanding those settings.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've optimized our PC.
Right.
Found some great deals on games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even dipped our toes into the free-to-play world.
We're on a roll.
We are. Is there anything else?
This is where he brings in the community aspect of budget gaming.
All right.
And he argues that connecting with other budget-minded gamers is essential.
Okay.
Not just for finding deals,
Right.
but for sharing knowledge, getting support, and just feeling less alone in the quest for affordable gaming.
I've always kind of been a solo gamer.
Yeah.
But I can see how being part of a community could be really helpful.
Absolutely.
Especially when it comes to things like troubleshooting tech issues or finding those hidden deals.
Right. We're just bouncing ideas off of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what kind of communities does he recommend?
He talks about online forums,
Okay.
Discord servers,
Okay.
subreddit communities,
All right.
and even local meetups.
Oh, wow. So like real life meetups.
Yeah, why not?
That's cool.
He argues that these spaces provide a sense of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Where people can share tips on optimizing low-end PCs, finding hidden gems in the gaming world, or just commiserating over the struggles of trying to keep up with the latest releases on a tight budget.
I love that.
It's like a support group.
It is.
For budget gamers.
It's like turning a potential source of frustration, like the feeling of not being able to afford everything into an opportunity for connection and a shared experience.
It's about turning that frown upside down.
It is. And it makes sense that the budget gaming community would be particularly resourceful and supportive.
Right. Because they've had to get creative to make their gaming dreams a reality.
They've had to figure things out.
Exactly. I like that. So we've got the hardware, the games, the community.
Yeah.
What else could there be?
Right. What else is there? Speaking of sharing knowledge, though, Cavaline dedicates a whole section.
Does he really?
He does to streaming and content creation on a shoestring budget.
Streaming on a budget.
I know it sounds a little crazy.
It does. It sounds like a bit of an oxymoron.
It does, because I always thought streaming required a pretty significant investment in equipment.
All that fancy gear.
Yeah, like cameras, microphones, capture cards, lighting.
The whole shebang.
The whole shebang. And
you're not alone in thinking that.
Yeah.
And that's precisely the myth that Cavaline sets out to debunk.
Okay.
He argues that you don't need a Hollywood-level setup to create engaging streams.
Okay.
He walks you through the essentials, emphasizing free software like OBS Studio.
Okay. OBS Studio.
Which lets you capture gameplay, add overlays, manage audio, stream to platforms like Twitch or YouTube.
Yeah.
All without spending a dime.
Oh, wow. Okay, that name rings a bell.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it mentioned.
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
In other streaming tutorials. But is it really that powerful?
It's surprisingly robust.
Okay.
Cavaline provides a great overview of its core features.
Okay.
Showing how you can achieve professional-looking results.
Okay.
With a bit of effort and creativity.
So you don't necessarily need to shell out for the paid software?
Not at all.
Okay, that's good to know.
Especially if you're just starting out.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the software sorted.
All right.
What about the hardware?
Right, the hardware.
Surely you need at least a decent webcam and microphone.
Yeah, I mean, you do need some basics.
Right.
But again, Cavaline emphasizes that you don't need to break the bank on these things either.
Right, good.
He suggests looking for entry-level webcams with good image quality at a reasonable price.
Right.
Pointing out that you can often find great deals on older models or refurbished webcams.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That still perform well.
Exactly.
I guess it makes sense that the webcam market would be similar to other tech.
Yeah.
Like newer models come out all the time.
Constantly.
Driving down the prices of older models.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about microphones?
Right. Audio is important.
Yeah, because that seems pretty crucial for streaming.
Yeah, you don't want viewers to be distracted by like static or background noise.
Exactly.
You need clear audio.
Yeah.
And Kavaleen recommends looking for budget-friendly USB microphones that offer decent noise cancellation and clear audio capture.
All right, so nothing too fancy.
No, not at all.
But good enough to get the job done.
Exactly. And he even suggests checking out online reviews.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Watching videos of other streamers.
Okay.
Using different microphones to get a sense of their sound quality.
Oh, that's smart.
Before you buy.
It's like a virtual audition.
It is.
For microphones.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that. All right, so let's say I've got like my basic streaming setup figured out.
You ready to go?
What else does Kavaleen recommend for those of us
Good question.
who are just starting out in this streaming world?
He emphasizes that the most important ingredient is your passion.
Okay.
Find games you genuinely enjoy playing.
Right.
And let that enthusiasm shine through.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just about the tech.
About the heart.
Yeah, it's about actually enjoying what you're doing.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
Try different formats. Figure out what resonates with your audience.
Okay, so find your niche.
Yeah, find your voice.
Okay.
He also reminds us that building a community takes time and effort.
Yeah, that's true.
Engage with your viewers. Respond to comments.
Okay.
Foster a welcoming and interactive environment.
So it's not just about, like, broadcasting.
No, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, it's about actually connecting with people.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's easy to get caught up in the technical aspects of streaming.
All the buttons and knobs.
Yeah. But ultimately, it's about connecting with other people who share your love of gaming.
I think that's what it's all about.
And that's something that anyone can do.
Absolutely.
Regardless of budget.
Exactly.
You know, as we've been talking about all these different strategies, but I keep coming back to this idea of mindset.
Mindset, yeah.
It's not just about the specific tips and tricks.
Right.
It's about cultivating a mindset of creativity, resourcefulness, and dare I say gratitude for what we already have.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's about shifting our focus from what we lack to what we can achieve with the resources we have.
And that's a powerful message.
It is.
Not just for gamers, but for anyone who's ever felt limited by financial constraints.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into game more, spend less.
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with a challenge.
All right, I like a good challenge.
What's one thing you're going to do differently?
Okay.
After hearing these insights?
Yeah. What's your takeaway?
Maybe it's creating a wish list of games that you're actually excited about. Exploring a new free-to-play title. Or connecting with other budget-minded gamers online.
Good ideas.
Whatever it is, take action.
Yeah.
Embrace the challenge.
Do it.
And remember that gaming is for everyone.
Gaming is for everyone.
It is.
It's not about denying yourself the things you enjoy.
Right.
It's about finding creative and sustainable ways to pursue your passions.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So go forth, game on, and keep those budgets happy.
Happy gaming, everyone.